Hello, curious minds! I'm Koko, and today we're traveling to a small but extraordinarily brave nation on the edge of Europe. A nation that once sailed to the ends of the earth and changed the entire world forever. Today, we discover Portugal. Portugal sits on the westernmost edge of continental Europe, on the Iberian Peninsula, bordered by Spain to the north and east, and the vast Atlantic Ocean to the west and south. It is one of the oldest countries in Europe, with borders that have remained almost unchanged for over 800 years. Portugal also includes two stunning Atlantic archipelagos, the Azores, sitting in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and Madeira, known as the Pearl of the Atlantic, both extraordinarily beautiful island groups. Its capital is Lisbon, one of the oldest and most charming cities in Europe, built across 7 hills overlooking the Tagus River where it meets the Atlantic. It's famous for its vintage yellow trams, colorful tile work called azulejos, and the soulful, melancholic music known as Fado. Portugal's history is one of the most extraordinary and world-changing stories of any small nation on earth. In the 15th and 16th centuries, Portugal launched the Age of Discovery, a period of breathtaking maritime exploration that literally changed the entire map of the world. Tiny Portugal, with a population of just 1 million people, sent its brave sailors further than anyone had ever gone before. Bartolomeu Dias became the first European to sail around the southern tip of Africa in 1488. Bartolomeu Dias became the first European to sail around the southern tip of Africa in 1488. Then came Vasco da Gama. In 1498, he completed the first ever sea voyage from Europe to India, opening a trade route that would make Portugal the wealthiest nation on earth and transform global commerce forever. Then came Vasco da Gama. In 1498, he completed the first ever sea voyage from Europe to India, opening a trade route that would make Portugal the wealthiest nation on earth and transform global commerce forever. Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered Brazil in 1500, giving Portugal a vast South American empire. Ferdinand Magellan, a Portuguese explorer sailing for Spain, led the first ever circumnavigation of the entire globe between 1519 and 1522, proving once and for all that the earth is round. At its peak, the Portuguese Empire stretched across Brazil, Africa, India, Southeast Asia, and beyond, making Portugal one of the first truly global empires in history. Portugal introduced Europe to spices, silk, porcelain, tea drinking, and countless other goods that transformed European life forever. The Portuguese language, carried by explorers and settlers across the world, is today spoken by over 260 million people across 10 countries on 4 continents, making it one of the most widely spoken languages on Earth. Today, Portugal's home to about 10 million people known for their warmth, melancholy beauty, love of the sea, and deep sense of saudade. A uniquely Portuguese word that describes a bittersweet longing for things past that has no direct translation in any other language. Fado, Portugal's national music, is a deeply emotional and hauntingly beautiful genre of song recognized by UNESCO as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. It speaks of love, loss, the sea, and the fate of the Portuguese soul. Portuguese people are extraordinarily hospitable and friendly. Portugal consistently ranks as one of the safest and most welcoming countries in the world for visitors. Portuguese food is wonderful. Pastel de nata, which are heavenly custard tarts with flaky pastry, originated in Lisbon's Belem district and are enjoyed worldwide today. Bacalhau, salt cod, is the national dish, and Portuguese people claim there are over 1,000 different recipes for cooking it. Piri-piri chicken, caldo verde soup, fresh Atlantic seafood, and the famous wines of the Douro Valley are all celebrated worldwide. Portugal uses the euro. Despite its small size, Portugal has a dynamic and growing economy built on tourism, technology, agriculture, wine, and cork production. Portugal produces over half of the entire world's cork, the bark of cork oak trees used in wine bottles and countless other products. Lisbon has emerged as one of Europe's most exciting technology hubs, home to the Web Summit, one of the largest technology conferences in the world. Tourism has exploded in recent years. Lisbon and Porto are among the most visited cities in Europe, and the Algarve coastline draws millions of visitors every year with its dramatic golden cliffs and crystal clear waters. The Tower of Belem in Lisbon, a magnificent 16th century fortress standing at the edge of the Tagus River, built to guard the entrance to Lisbon's harbor and serving as the departure point for Portugal's great explorers as they set sail into the unknown. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most beautiful examples of Portuguese Manueline architecture in the world. The Palace of Pina and Sintra, a breathtaking fairy tale palace perched high on a rocky hilltop above the clouds, painted in vivid yellow and red, surrounded by romantic forests, and considered one of the most beautiful palaces in all of Europe. The Douro Valley, a stunning UNESCO World Heritage landscape of terraced vineyards cascading down steep hillsides to the Douro River below, producing some of the world's finest wines, including the famous port wine that takes its name from Portugal itself. And the city of Porto, Portugal's second largest city and one of the most beautiful in Europe, famous for its dramatic hillside setting above the Douro River, its magnificent blue and white azulejo tilework, its stunning São Bento railway station, decorated with over 20,000 painted tiles, and of course its world-famous port wine cellars lining the riverside. Before we go, here are some truly remarkable things about Portugal that will amaze you. Portugal is the oldest country in Europe, with borders established in 1139, over 880 years ago, making it older than most European nations by centuries. Portugal was also the first European country to abolish slavery in its mainland territory in 1761, nearly a century before most other nations. The Portuguese invented tempura. The famous Japanese frying technique was introduced to Japan by Portuguese missionaries in the 16th century and became one of the most beloved cooking methods in Japanese cuisine. And here is perhaps the most wonderful fact. The word marmalade comes from the Portuguese word marmelo, meaning quince, and the beloved English tradition of marmalade on toast has its roots entirely in Portugal. Portugal is a country that dreamed bigger than its size, sailed further than anyone thought possible, and left its mark on every corner of the earth. A nation of brave explorers, soulful music, and breathtaking beauty that continues to inspire the world to this day. I hope you enjoyed our journey today. I'm Koko, and there is a whole world left to discover. See you in the next adventure.